What if I told you that there are more than 35 mild liner colors? No, we're not getting new colors in the US. I'm going to show you how to make new colors. And this first one that we're going to make is one of my favorites. It's coral pink plus fuchsia, and it makes Barbie pink. And I think this color is so pretty. And there's so many other colors that you can make with other mild liner colors. And I'm going to show you some of my favorites. And then we're going to go through all of the colors that you can make with mild liners. The next color that we're going to make is pink plus cream, and I want you guys to name names, so put those in the comments what you think the name should be. The next color is red plus marigold, and this one is great for Christmas. It's a really vibrant red, and I really like that. I think it's super pretty, so name that one. The next one that we're going to do is cyan plus lemon yellow, and it makes a really pretty green, so name that one. And then the next one that we're going to do is blue green plus yellow. And these are two very light colors, and they make almost a neon green. And I think that might be the name, but confirm with me if that's what you want it to be. The next one is summer green plus citrus green, and it makes another green. And I think this one is great for Christmas again because it's kind of like that deeper green. And then we have summer green plus green. This one is similar to the one above, but it's a little bit darker, and I think they're both great. The next one is soda blue from the Gentle Pack in pink, and I think it makes a really pretty purple, so name that one. And then we have lavender plus magenta, and then this makes a deep purple, and I really like that one, so name that one also. The next one is cyan plus yellow, and it makes a super pretty green, so name this one. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do 3 colors, and we're going to make 6 colors out of them. So this is the pink, the yellow, and the blue. And then the next one we're going to do is we're going to do magenta with lemon yellow and cyan. So this really shows like how to make colors, but the magenta wasn't as good as the fuchsia. The fuchsia is more like the magenta, like from the screen, the CMK. So this one makes really pretty colors. So you can combine colors to make lots of different colors. So now we're going to go on to the Gentle Pack, and they don't have a green in there, but they have all the other colors, and you can see the green that I made. Now we're going to do some different combinations on those packs. So once you have a pack, we're putting down baby pink, and we get different shades of those colors with like this baby pink to it. And then the next one we're going to do is we're going to be putting cream on top of this one. And so some of them don't work as great as the others. So if there's a color in there that you don't love, just kind of like throw it out. But this gives you like that same shade of palette. And I think this is super pretty. And then the next one we're going to show is copper. Oh, actually beige. And then this one I didn't love as much. You still get a bit of variation, but not quite as much as the other colors, because it's a little bit darker. And then the last one we're just going to do with 3 colors like we did above to show the color theory of it all, so that way we can see what colors these are, and that you can make, if you only have 3 colors, you can make 6 colors. You can totally make so many different colors. Now, just because you can make a color, should you make it? These are kind of illustrations of what not to do. So we have like that lavender with yellow, and then a red with green. I'm not exactly sure of that. I think those were red and green. And then a cyan plus the apricot. And the colors are kind of muted, not so great. So we're going to see later lots of different ones. And then now we are going to see, like when you put a dark saturation with a light saturation, you can't really see it. So these are all dark colors, and they're going on top of there. So you want to make sure that you kind of put the same colors together, like that are the same saturation. So we're really going to illustrate this again with a dark color, 2 dark colors, and it's going to change it. And then we're going to put a light color on top, and you can see that it didn't really change it. Now we're going to do all of the colors, and I have this chart and the other one, and it'll be in the comments below or on Zebra's website. And we're going to go through and we're going to see how all the colors mix with all the other ones. So the first one we have is baby pink, and you can see that we're getting some really cool colors. The colors that don't mix as well with baby pink are going to be those darker colors, and you won't be able to tell the difference necessarily with baby pink applied at all, because it is a very light color. So all of these are very light colors. The next one that we're going to do is honey orange. So honey orange, we're getting, you can see, like if you look at the column on the left, that it is more pinkish, and this one is definitely orangish, but you definitely get the difference in color. And I decided to put the ones on the left, the actual colors, so we can see that it is actually changing. We are just getting that hint of orange with all of these colors, and it makes it super pretty. So like I said before, if you have a color palette and then you put the same color over the top of it, it kind of brings the whole palette together. And I made a little mistake right there, so I put arrows. But the thing is with this chart is it doesn't have to be perfect. You're just trying to get an idea of what to make. And then when you make your actual projects, you can make them as great as you want. But right now, because this does take forever and it would take even longer to make perfect, just do the best that you can so you can get an idea of the colors that you like. So the next one that we're going through is I think it's the Pale Yellow, or what is it called? It is this Sherbet Yellow. So it's the lighter yellow. And then my hand was like, okay, I was like, perfection is not happening. So I went through and I just did them two at a time, because before I was like, I put one color down first and then the other color. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. So now we're putting down the soda blue, and you can see that blue tint to all of these different colors. Some of the colors, like I said, like that green, you didn't see change much, and probably the summer green with this, but some of those lighter colors we're definitely seeing a difference. Like the fuchsia, you know, went a little more purple, and that cream, it just changed all of them just a little bit. The next one we're doing lilac, and we're seeing that it's changing everything to like that orangey kind of pinkish tone, because like now it's going more purpley. It's a very lilac color, and we're going through and we're seeing what it looks like. And then I'm just making sure I have them on the top so we can kind of tell what the color looks like initially compared to what the mix was. And now we're going to go through the full sheet with the other colors. And you can tell by this point I'm like, oh, I'm just getting tired. So I'm not going to show that every single time putting the colors in. But I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to put color in 2 or 3 boxes at a time. And then I'll just show you guys all the mixes from now on instead of me putting all the colors in. So that way you guys can not have to sit through all of that. And so you can get just the mixes. You won't have to see me putting coloring all the time. So you can tell that like the marigold doesn't get changed much by like the pink or the smaller ones, but when it's a more saturated color, it gets changed. So now we're on to apricot, which is a little bit more pigmented, so it is going to change some of these. So it just depends how much pigment saturation it has versus the other color, whether it's going to change it or not. And it depends on where it is on the color wheel, if it's going to look good or not. Because some of them you're like, I don't think I'll ever use that color, but you never know. You could be surprised. Maybe you're going for some kind of look and you're like, oh, I really like that color for this look. The next one is gold, and we're definitely seeing it maybe overpower some and, you know, come head to head with some of the other colors. And the next one is lemon yellow, which is a darker yellow, and it's definitely changing some of these in here, and it looks super pretty. Next one is yellow, and this one is light. So we are going to see this change when we hit a light color, and is not as much when it hits a darker color. Like I tried to go over that. I was like, did that really make sense? Next one is citrus green. So this is going to look interesting with red, I believe. It should look super interesting. I just realized that I did it wrong. So it was actually, I put green instead of citrus green on there. So I just, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you make a mistake, because you will maybe in this chart, because it is so big, you'll see it. So that, yeah, it looked interesting with the red. It kind of turned it to orange. The next one is green. So I switched those because I had it wrong. Yeah, I don't love the pink and the green together, or some of these other like reds with the greens. It's just not my cup of tea right there. But we'll see later that it will look better with some of the darker colors. Then we have olive over here. And then I actually really like olive with the colors. These look okay, some of them, but I like it with the darker colors. And the next one is blue-green, and these will start to make, you know, maybe some purples in here, some pretty colors, and then maybe not so some pretty ones when you mix it with the orange and the yellows. We'll see how that goes. Oh, there we go. That's what the color should look like. Next, we have summer green, and we're going to mix it with the reds at first. Oh, that's kind of pretty. You just never know until you lay the colors down what it's going to look like together. And I do like to put the less saturated color on top of the more saturated color. In this case, you know, if I was being more perfectionist, I would have done that. But like when you're actually making your art or you're doing your planning, you can definitely do that. So I like to put like a blue and then the pink on top of it to make the color instead of the pink and then the blue. So now we're getting into the next color. Smoke blue, and this is looking super interesting. I really like it with that olive and just some of the other colors. That summer green, it looks really pretty. And now we're on to cyan. Ooh, look at that purple that it made right there. That could have been one that we made earlier. Not so much maybe with the oranges, but now we're getting into the greens and it's looking really pretty with those greens. Oh, I like that one. And then there it is by itself. So you can see how much it does change when you mix it with another color. Now we're going with blue. So this one's a little bit lighter. It might not change some of these dark ones as much, but it looks like it is a little bit, but maybe not good on the red. But so I like it with all the greens and the blues, but it didn't make much of a dent on the summer green. Now we're going into dark blue. So this will change. Ooh, I like that with the light pink. But is that much different than the dark blue? And then the yellow is okay. Now we're getting into the blues, so it'll start to look good again. Ooh, I like it with the summer green. And then the light blue, if it changed it that much, I'm not sure. And then the lavender. So I really like the lavender with some of these reds. They look, I think that's the one I put in there, the pink plus lavender maybe. It's just so pretty. And then now with the yellows and the oranges, like some of these are like really pretty, brown colors. If you need some kind of shading or some shadows in your work, it would be really good for some of those colors that you wouldn't necessarily think of and pick up and be like, this is my favorite color. So there we go. We have that one done. And now we're in the violet. So this one's a little bit lighter. Ooh, I like it with the pink. And then let's see how it looks. The oranges, it looks okay. The green, it looks okay. And then the blues, ooh, I really like how it's coming down here. Ooh, with that blue. Now it's by itself. And now we're going to go to magenta. And magenta is super pretty with the reds. Even that orange, it looked pretty. Sometimes, you get a little bit more orange with the yellow. And the greens, maybe not so much. That blue looks pretty. I don't know if I overpowered it or if I'm seeing it by itself or what. I like it with that blue, if it's the same or not, I don't know. And then the fuchsia. So the fuchsia, ooh, I like that one. And I think that was our Barbie pink in there with the coral pink. Also looks good with just the pink. Now we're getting into the oranges, so it kind of makes it a little bit more orange, and then the greens, maybe not so much, but then starting it in the blues, and it looks a lot better there. You mix it with the lavender, and then I like it really mixed with the magenta. So dark gray. This one, we won't see much of a change. It will really overpower. So if you want to get variations of dark gray that kind of look pink, that kind of look purple, that kind of look green, you can use other colors on it, but it's not going to show up terribly well. You will see a slight difference, but if you're looking for something noticeable, like when you put like blue with pink and you get purple, or yellow with blue and you get green, you're not going to see that with this gray. So now this is a cool gray. So now this is actually one of my favorite ones because it makes everything cooler, a little bit grayer. So this would be really good if you want to put like a palette in your planner or your drawings where it's a little bit grayer and have all the colors kind of fall in that same palette, and it will just kind of pick it all up. And then you can even use it for shadows later. And then we have gray next, and it's going to do the same thing except for this gray is slightly warmer. So you're going to get that gray warmer, whereas this other one was like a gray cool. So you would get the cooler, but still would be gray. So these are looking good. I like all of them. Maybe not so much changing on some of the darker colors like we said before. Next one is brown. And this is going to be another one where it won't change very much, but it will change a little. I was surprised, like this one is better than the copper. I don't know why, but you get some really pretty colors in here that you could use like for browns that maybe come in a pack if you have a lot of colored pencils or crayons or markers that you wouldn't necessarily get in this pack because it's 35. So ooh, I really like it with that, was it fuchsia? And then we get to copper. So we do get some different colors with copper. It just is a very overpowering. So even, so the ones that are like less saturated, we really won't see a difference from the main color, but we will see a difference in some of these. Like that, with that green, it totally changed it. And this summer green, it goes a little bit darker. I don't know if I love the summer green with the brown, but you know, it's a little more brown. And then we get the purples, and it kind of really hides all those purples and pinks. And then the next one that we have is beige, and we've already gone through this one before. So this one is one that I really do like because then it changed, and we saw that in the examples before, because it changed everything to like a beige tone, but you still see the color underneath. So it's super pretty, and you can still have a lot of fun with this color. And I feel like this would be fun for like just planning a spread with this color and using it on top of everything to bring everything together. And maybe using the gray as like your highlight. And then the last one we have is cream, and this one is not very dark at all. And so it's not going to change all of them terribly much. Like some of them will be almost exactly like they were before, and I might have to go over it a couple times to even see a difference. But it definitely changes them a little bit. Not a ton, because this is probably the least saturated color of the set. But it is a pretty color. I like it. It just gives you that hint of some color on your paper. Like these ones are super mild. But that's all the colors. Here are the charts. They're not perfect, like I said, but this is just to give you an idea of what the colors will look like. You can see that some colors look really good with other colors, and like dark gray doesn't really change much. Copper doesn't really change much, but there are slight variations. So if you like the copper plus coral pink, that looks kind of nice. Maybe this green in here. It just really depends. There's some that might look good with it. There's some that don't look good at all, as I showed you before. Usually, like if you do a light with a light, that's going to be good. And if you do a saturated with a saturated. If you do a saturated with one that's not as saturated, you might get something, but you probably won't. The other color will overpower it. And I like to do the darker color first and then put on the lighter color, which I didn't exactly do with this chart because that would have taken ages. But I really like this, and I feel like I could find some cool colors in here. It's going to be prettier than what I'm putting down right here, because like I said, this is just a working document, so that way we can see what the colors are like when they're combined together. But you can get some fun combinations if you don't have a color. We go from like red to marigold, and we don't have a ton of reds, so it's really nice to get some reds. And like the greens also, like I feel like we have some really fun greens in here. I'm not seeing for sure like a forest green. It'd be kind of fun to come up with like a forest green, but I'm not sure I see that exactly. But like I said, some really fun colors in here that we can make. And once you start blending your colors, your MILDLINER world will just open up. If you guys enjoyed this video, check out the other video I did for Zebra, where I did the spring and summer palettes, and I used some of these combinations in there, and there are so many different combinations that you can use when you're using your MILDLINERs that'll make it so much fun. Hope you guys have a great day.